All right. 2006 Dodge Durango with Hemi motor. Hemi motor. As you can see, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go step by step, real quick, because as you can see, I already did the job, and I gotta keep going. I got a lot of cars that I have to work on. Now, listen to this, okay? Carefully. How do we place or swipe engine? Um, First, take off the intake. Once you take off the intake, you're clear. Okay? But before you take off the intake, you gotta disconnect your wires, ignition cord plugs. After you take off your ignition cord, disconnect your injector wires, the plugs from the intake. And after you do that, then you remove the intake out. Once you remove the intake out, you're looking at behind the engine. You're gonna feel these bolts. You're gonna feel this one here and that one. Okay, this one you won't be able to unscrew it because it's too far. It's too far back down. You're gonna be able to take this one out and that one out, which is literally behind the engine. Okay, and possibly this one if you're using the same tools that I'm using. Okay, that's to take off the transmission bolt or the engine bolt. Okay, and after you do that, you're getting somewhere. All right. What I did, as you can see, I took off the water pump because the pump is good. I'm gonna use it. I'm just gonna change the gasket. The crankshaft pulley, I'm gonna take it off because I needed the old one to break. Okay. Now let's go over here. You gotta take off the front bumper. Okay. Remove the front bumper out. With you take the grill comes separate. Take off the grill first, then take off the front bumper. You gotta take off the radiator bracket up here so you can get the engine out like I did. Okay, and the power steering pump right here, I put it to the side. I don't want no power steering fluid leak out. The AC compressor, you have to disconnect the line. You see what I did? I disconnect the line. Okay. Um, these are the type of wrench that I use. This swivel wrench. See this? And this is a 15 and 13. Okay, it's kind of shiny over here. Okay. To make my job more easier, this is the type of wrench that I use, as I was saying. Okay, be careful with these hoses. You don't want to break anything. Make sure you unplug every sensors. Okay, every sensors you have to make sure you disconnect them. All right, and as we can see over here, you got behind it, you got the ground wires. Ground wires, they all have bolts that screwed into there, and from the bottom, that's how you remove the manifold, the pipe. Okay, and the bottom of the vehicle, you have to loosen up the rack and pinion. Once you loosen up the rack and pinion, the bracket that joint from the engine to the transmission, okay, once you remove that, I think it's size 15. Once you remove that, then you can get the torque converter bolt from underneath. Okay, I do it from underneath there. All right, and as you see, my starter hanging, and transmission cooler hanging. Okay, I take everything out, take everything out. Put them to the side, except for the AC compressor and the alternator. All right, as you can see, I have power tools. It's a lot of skills to use to take these things out. It's a lot of work. I'm gonna say more than 8 hours because you have to be real careful that you don't lose too many fluid, and you gotta make sure you do this professional. I say more than 8 hours because I have a lot of things, other things that I have to do, and this vehicle have let me show you something. I think they was using stop leaks in the radiator. And you see, earlier I have to take off sand out. So I don't want to use that same radiator. I'm going to have to change the radiator as well as the pump. Maybe I might change the water pump. And this is the pump right here. Okay, so I'm going to double check it.